Hi folks, welcome back. In this video, let's try to attach your EKS cluster into existing GK Enterprise fleet. So again, we will be referring to the same example repo which is maintained by the Google Anthos samples. And if you go to EKS, you will find all the Terraform code. And in my in my GitHub repo, I have already cloned it and I have kept it under attached clusters folder. Uh, so let's, without wasting the time, let's go back to our command prompt and install this. There were some old files. Let me remove it because these are there from old Terraform run. Since I'm not using any backend, typically, when you run the Terraform, as you already know, I mean, you guys might have already used Terraform, most of the users. So you keep the backend, typically a storage account in Azure and S3 bucket in Amazon, where you keep your Terraform state file so that next time when you run the Terraform command, it will reference to that state file to see the existing state. If some manual intervention happened, some resources are got deleted, which are created as a part of the Terraform. Terraform will ensure that the resources are again in place. That's the whole advantage of having a state file. So since we are not storing anything in because it's constantly subjected to upgrade in my repo because of rapidly changing definitions of the provider with respect to Terraform and all the resources. So for me it's fine. I don't need to maintain because just for demo purpose because it's not a production code. All right. So again, the prerequisite would be AWS configure command where you will configure your region, location, your access key, secret key for the Amazon command line functions, and then finally the format, whether it's a JSON whatever. So for the security purpose, I'm not demonstrating it because it will eventually share my access key, secret key, and all. Also, I have already done this, so I don't need to show it again here. So let's go back and do initialization. This would take a minute or two. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's fast. Now let's run the plan. Let's wait for the output. All right. So, okay, same thing. It will be creating a EKS cluster first, and it would be creating the node pool, corresponding IAMs, whatever it is required. And then finally, I think there is an attachment section. Ah, there you go. In this section, it is going to attach your cluster, whatever it is created in the EKS2 fleet. So this is the portion for that. That's all. So without wasting the time, let's do apply, and by the time it applies, we will go back and discuss few more aspects related to this. Okay. All right. Now it has started the cluster creation process, which you can track it in your Amazon console. So if you click on Amazon console, okay, currently we don't have any, but it should shortly start it. Okay, it is started now. If I refresh now, there you go. It started the cluster creation process. All right, I mean, it's not necessary that you need to follow the same Terraform code what I am doing. you can always go back and pre-create EKS cluster in the UI or any other method if you're familiar with AWS, and then directly go back to the Google console and go inside your fleet, and there you will find an option for attach cluster. So click on that, and then these are some of the prerequisites which you need to follow. This you need to ensure that kubectl is installed and you're able to fetch the kubeconfig file with the help of kubectl config correct context, or you can do kubectl config view and then supply your config file that will show everything. And then you need to modify your firewall rules to make sure these APIs are I mean domains are reachable. Finally, you need to enable these APIs in Google console, and then couple of IAMs you have to sort out. I think there's a one IAM, not much. If you're all set, then go to the next tab. Here you need to supply your EKS cluster, whatever you have created in the UI, and distribution is EKS. Similarly, in the previous video, if you see, we have selected EKS. That's all, the corresponding Kubernetes version and attach. That's it. It will go and attach to the cluster. I mean the fleet. So again, if you want to do it via command line method, again you can go back to the GK Enterprise, and if you come down multi-cloud option GK attached cluster. Last time we referred AKS, this time we'll be referencing this EKS. So here, if you see this, you have attach an EKS cluster option. So what you'll be doing is you'll be fetching the kubeconfig file of your existing cluster. Once you fetch that, then you'll be describing that to query the OIDC. Usually, another requirement in this case would be enabling the OIDC when you create the EKS. That's the understood part with the help of this output. So it's very difficult for anybody to maintain each and every minute details, in the public documentation. Whatever you cover at the end of the day, there will be certain missing steps, and we need to be a little bit smart enough to, fetch these things. And then, it's storing your current context into a variable, and then ultimately the same command, whatever we used for Azure cluster attachment, same thing we'll be using here, with the naming conventions. That's all, nothing much. It's a straightforward process. All right, let's see where is our Terraform. Okay, so if you see, cluster creation process is still on. Now we will go back to Amazon console and we'll refresh it. Cluster creation is still going on. Once the cluster creation process is done, it will create a node group and eventually the number of nodes. So let's wait for this and we'll come back once the creation process is complete. So let's wait until the registration process completes. All right. If you see now, cluster creation process is completed. So if we go and refresh, I can see cluster is active. It has one node group and it has one node. Now let's go to Google UI and see whether the cluster is getting registered here. There you go. Now the cluster is in the register process. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, even though the Terraform command is completed, it would take a couple of minutes for it to completely register it. So let's wait for another minute before we start executing, because still the complete data is not ready. Again, we did a same mistake which we did for Azure. It's like just spinning up one worker node. That's what is causing the problem. So what I will do, I'll go to this node group, before testing anything itself. I will go and scale this. Okay, I think. Oh, okay. What I will do, desire size itself, I'll increase 2. It would be faster, and maximum size also would be 2, so it would be faster. I'll say the change. It should spin up another node as per the expectation. Let's see. I can go back and refresh it. Okay. Ah, this is extremely, less. All right. So I'll try to connect to this. It's fetching the credentials. Now, if you do ctl get nodes, it's taking some time. Ah, there you go. Number of nodes are 2. Now, if I go back and refresh here, there should be 2 nodes. Ah, good. Now, what we will do again, same thing. Let's try to do a small, deployment. So yeah, still I think the registration is in the process. It seems complete. It's not yet completed. So let's wait for a couple of minutes. Or I think I need to do login here, which I think that could be the reason. So let me try to do login. I'll use Google Identity. Yeah, it is done. So now I'll go to workloads. I think that could be the reason. Yeah. Okay, good. Now I'll go on deploy. Let it be, sample EKS test deployment in the test namespace. Uh, this case I will be using Anthos EKS cluster. Container details, let it be Nginx, and let me deploy. This shouldn't take much time because we have already spinned up one more. Yeah, I mean, it's a straightforward lesson which we have learned in previous video, that there was a huge resource crunch because of all the agents which Anthos is installing, GK Connect and GK system namespace, all those things, and we did a wrong thing by just spinning up a one worker node. Because of that reason, we were facing a lot of issues where cluster was not reachable. There was a network issue and resource crunch. Now you see it's good. Now you do kubectl get all hyphen and test, and you will be seeing this results. Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. I think in just to before winding up, let me quickly summarize what we have done in this scenario 2. In the scenario 2, what we did is we did create Kubernetes clusters in the public cloud, the respective Kubernetes cluster. In Azure, it's AKS, and then in Amazon it's EKS. And then what we did, we registered those cluster to GKS Fleet. So that with that we have proved the functionality of the second functionality of Anthos, which is attaching the existing different flavored Kubernetes clusters as well to the fleet. So we covered both the scenario 1, scenario 2. So in the next couple of session, we will start focusing on the next two important features of Anthos, which is ASM and ACM, Anthos Service Mesh and Anthos Config Manager. Uh, as a prerequisite of that, I will try to create a couple of, if not couple of videos, at least at least one video to give the overview of Istio completely, because knowledge of Istio is very much required for the service mesh. Anthos is leveraging almost all the open source, technologies wherever it is possible. In service mesh aspects, it is leveraging the Istio deployments, with the help of Istio gateways. So it's always good to know that. I would recommend the audience to just go through the Istio life cycle and Istio architecture and all. And as I promised, I would be taking a session on that as well. So hope to see you guys very soon. Stay tuned and subscribe to my channel and support me. Thank you so much, guys.